The old mansion on the outskirts of town had been abandoned for decades, its facade slowly succumbing to the relentless march of time. The once majestic house was now a skeletal shadow, its windows dark voids staring into the souls of those who dared to approach. It was said that the house was haunted, cursed by the tragic events that had unfolded within its walls over a century ago. A family had lived there once, their lives cut brutally short under mysterious circumstances. Local legends spoke of ghostly apparitions, whispers in the dead of night, and shadowy figures seen moving behind those empty windows. Isabella, a daring young woman with a thirst for the paranormal, decided to investigate the mansion's story. Armed with only a flashlight and her camera, she entered the house on a stormy night. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay, and the wooden floorboards creaked under her weight. Isabella's breath formed clouds in the cold, stagnant air. As she moved through the darkened halls, she could feel an oppressive presence watching her, unseen eyes following her every step. She reached what appeared to be the living room and saw a dusty, old portrait hanging above the fireplace. The eyes in the painting seemed to follow her, shifting subtly as she moved. Suddenly, a door slammed shut somewhere in the house, the echo reverberating through the empty rooms. Isabella's heart pounded in her chest, but she pressed on, determined to uncover the truth. She ventured upstairs, her flashlight casting long, eerie shadows on the walls. In one of the bedrooms, she found an old diary atop a rotting wooden desk. The pages were brittle and yellowed, but the words were still legible. The diary belonged to a young girl, the last living member of the family, whose sad and desperate account of the final days filled Isabella with dread. Names and dates, pleas for help, and cryptic warnings were scrawled across the pages. As she read, Isabella heard soft footsteps behind her. She spun around, her flashlight beam slicing through the darkness, but found nothing. The temperature plummeted, and she felt a cold breath on the back of her neck. Panicking, she decided it was time to leave. But as she turned to go, she saw a figure standing at the end of the hallway. It was a gray, translucent form of a little girl, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. Isabella tried to run, but the hallway seemed to stretch endlessly before her. The ghostly figure floated closer, whispering words Isabella couldn't understand. In her desperation, she tripped and fell, her camera clattering to the floor. As she scrambled to her feet, she realized that the front door, her only escape, had vanished. The house was alive, a maze of darkness and suffering. Just as the ghostly girl reached out to touch her, everything went black. Days later, Isabella's camera was found by a local search party, its footage capturing the terror and despair of her final moments. No trace of Isabella was ever found, and the mansion remained ever watchful and waiting for its next unfortunate visitor.